A small car, but the journey is far from ordinary. Fiat Punto versus the roof of the world in Tajikistan. Not a rugged off-roader, not even a 4x4. Just a simple Punto, us, and a never-ending road. Ahead of us lies a world where smooth asphalt is a dream, where the engine fights for every mile, where we fight against our own exhaustion, while the finish line is still far, far away. We don't know if we'll make it. We don't know what will break first, the clutch, the suspension, or maybe us. But that's not what matters. We're driving to raise awareness for charity. We're driving for 2 children in need, for Chechnya and Stash, small warriors who need therapy, treatment, and daily help. Will the Punto survive the Pamir Mountains? Can we make it to the roof of the world? We'll find out at the end of the road. Welcome to Extremely Low-Cost Travels. Fiat Punto to the roof of the world, where the asphalt ends. Some ideas seem too crazy to work. Ours, driving tens of thousands of kilometers from the heart of Europe to the Pamir Mountains in an old Fiat Punto, was one of those ideas. But for us, this journey had a deeper meaning. We wanted to combine the adventure with charity, and at the same time to bring some symbolic toys from Poland to the kids in poor mountain villages. So the journey begins. We're heading towards Slovakia and Hungary. We are barely on the road and trouble already came. In Romania, the Punto lost power, and the engine sounded like a 2-cylinder. Quick diagnosis, the ignition coil had failed. Luckily, we had a spare. Time to hit the road again. Bulgaria, Turkey, and Georgia. Next is the part we hoped to avoid. We face a transit through Russia. We're driving into Chechnya, towards Grozny. These are lands where GPS stops working. Night falls. Time to find a place to sleep, somewhere in the Chechen fields. Fortunately, the next day we'll make it to Kazakhstan. Finally, we can breathe and rest in Kazakh steppe. I imagined our dream vacation quite differently, but I think we'll survive. Time to move east again. Kazakhstan is a space that hypnotizes. The horizon feels endless, the landscape repetitive. In a car without AC, we felt like riding in an oven. Sometimes monotony breaks, like when we drove into a swarm of locusts, hundreds stuck to the hood and radiator. To move on, we had to scrape them off. Things that surprise us in Kazakhstan: unusual cemeteries with unique graves, plenty of roadside car repair ramps, and their cheap, widespread LPG gas. After 3 days, we reached the Uzbekistan border. The border was well hidden. You'd never guess that this gate leads to Uzbekistan. Here we met the most thorough border guards yet. This was the only crossing where they scanned every single item in our bags and sprayed us for a fee with disinfectant. We wanted to enter Tajikistan quickly, but most border posts were for locals only. After hours of searching for the right one, we finally crossed at Oybek. The crossing fee, $25. Its purpose still a mystery. After a roadside sleep, we rolled into the first town. Just a few steps into a place bursting with colors, smells and sounds so different from anything European. The road continues south through the Zarafshan and Hizar mountains. Sadly, the only road south is toll-based. Let's call it a climate fee for the Anzop tunnel drowning in smog. Our first goal in Tajikistan, the capital, Dushanbe. not for sightseeing, but to get a GBAO permit for the Pamirs. The officials tried hard to invent extra fees, so always asked for receipts. We spent the night south of the capital, on a hill above a quiet town. Morning came in an unusual way. A herd of cows made sure we didn't oversleep. Quick breakfast and chat with shepherds. And it's time to move on. We're driving towards the Afghan border, passing small towns, soaking in local atmosphere until the mountains begin to rise. Driving through landscape like this, pure joy. From now on, these dry, majestic peaks will be our constant companions. And finally, we reached the legendary Pamir Highway. At first, surprisingly, a paved highway. Time for a break in a stunning canyon. It's very narrow, but towering high. At the bottom, a crystal clear stream. Water this clean is rare in these parts. The stream flows into the Punch River, the border river with Afghanistan. We're back on the road, still on decent asphalt. Time to dry some laundry and admire random stretches of border fencing. Armed military patrols keep us company, but they will make wild camping tricky. The route follows cliffs too steep for tents, and border villages, where there is no chance for a free spot. Exhausted, we finally found a lovely place. Sadly, too close to the road and the border river. We had time to look around and eat dinner, but pitching a tent, not a chance. A patrol forced us to keep moving. On the bright side, even in remote corners of Tajikistan, cheap LPG stations can be found here. We spent the night close to the road. Luckily, no patrol spotted us. But a new day brought new challenges. Smooth asphalt became rare. With every mile the road worsened. Mountain slopes grew steeper, and unprotected cliffs appeared more often. Still, driving these roads was a thrill. The term Pamir Highway has nothing to do with highway. Technically speaking, the worst road we've ever been on. Most of the road is a nightmare, but some stretches are surprisingly decent. Yes, this is so-called highway. Speed isn't an option, but the views are insane. Now we're following the Tajik-Afghan border river, aiming for the capital of GBAO, Khorog, but the road is often tough. 15 km per hour is the top speed on many stretches. The Pamir Highway is an international route, leading to Tajikistan's only border crossing with China. Trucks loaded with imported electric cars are frequent on the road. The route follows the Punch River, with Afghanistan just across the bank. The sun-scorched Afghan peaks rise proudly above the land. Afghanistan is so close, you can glimpse everyday life across the river. Time to press on over the fading asphalt. Unfortunately, Khorog is getting closer. The closer to the regional capital, the better the road quality. Welcome to the GBAO, Autonomous Region's capital city. Khorog is a peculiar city. Even though it's an autonomous region, portraits of Tajik leader are everywhere. He spares no effort or banners for his auto-promotion. From Khorog we head to Pamir's most stunning lands. The road climbs sharply. Khorog sits at 2,100 meters. In a day we'll have to rise to over 4,000 meters. But first, let's spend the night away from the city. We camped near a river floodplain by the village of Vuj. Below stretches the Gunt river valley, one of the Pamir's lifelines. The Gunt River flows from the lake Yashikul, winding west through rocky valleys, until it meets the Panch River at Khorog. The Gunt's waters are cold and fast, yet they breathe life into this harsh land. The road from Khorog to Murghab follows the Gunt. Travelers must be ready to cross its branches, driving through chilly waters at times. Along the trail, strange structures catch the eye, like fragile bridges made of rope and sticks. But the true marvel is the landscape. Majestic Pamir peaks rising above the river plains. This land amazes with beauty and then reminds you how unforgiving it can be. The climb continues, but the thin air robs the engine of power. The only solution is to zigzag uphill, easing the slope. Passengers must walk part of the way. This is the Pamir Highway in all its rugged glory. Even 20 km per hour is out of reach, so sometimes it's better to cut across the trackless ground. Along the route we pass 4 settlements. Just a few stone huts or shipping containers where people carry their daily lives. A shop or gas station is a rare privilege here, because bad roads slow development and made trade difficult. Children sell homemade dairy products to travelers. We skipped the local milk to avoid stomach trouble, but offered small gifts from Poland instead. Simple little toys brought them genuine joy. Above 3,000 meters of elevation, villages are scarce. Mostly solitary, makeshift herders' camps. Their animals provide not only milk and meat, but also fuel. In winter, dried bricks of dung become essential firewood. Let's go further towards the heart of the Pamirs. Ahead lies one of the most beautiful spots on the route, the Alichur Valley. Shallow, salty lakes spread across the plain, giving the land an otherworldly feel. but the harsh climate and altitude of 3,800 meters make it a semi-desert with lunar-like landscape. Here you'll find only resistant plants adapted to extremes, low, tufted or cushion-shaped, small in size, yet anchored by deep, strong roots. Near the river, countless barrows dot the ground, home to long-haired marmots, common across the high mountains, from the Pamirs to the Himalayas. From above, the silver wetlands make it clear why the Pamirs are called the roof of the world. Here the air is thin, the breath short, and the plateaus rise higher than many alpine peaks. It's the perfect setting for lunch, though cooking in the relentless wind is no easy task. Afterwards, we head east, admiring the breathtaking views. In this part of the Pamirs, you can even feel the luxury of driving along exceptionally smooth, gently worn road. Ahead of us, the first true high mountain town, Alichur. Perched at nearly 4,000 meters, it matters to us for one reason. There's a gas station, even if it only stocks 92-octane fuel. As dusk falls, we wander the settlement. Life here is harsh. Homes are modest and simple, and water comes from a few scattered wells. Time to search for a place to sleep. We drive beyond the last traces of civilization to find a quiet spot for the tents. Morning greets us in a beautiful valley beside an old silver mine road. But at 4,000 meters, the altitude sickness hits. Headaches, sickness, nausea, symptoms that will follow us for the next few days. We push on towards our goal. On our way, we pass lonely shepherd farms. Aged Soviet trucks are a trademark of the region. Goats are here the main livelihood. Stone enclosures are used to keep the animals overnight, while their dried dung, shaped into bricks, serves as winter fuel. Curious children run out to meet us. We leave them a few small toys before moving on along the Pamir Highway. Cattle here completely ignore traffic. The road surface is completely destroyed by trucks. The roughness is more than repaid by the views. Landscapes that are harsh yet grand, where the wildness of nature merges with the majesty of the mountains and the silence of endless spaces. Our route leads to the region's largest town. Here, among vast green valleys, lies the town of Murghab. To enter, travelers must show a GBAO permit. After passport control, we're all in. Murghab does not dazzle with splendor, yet its stark beauty is unforgettable. The landscape is dominated by small houses scattered across the valley. There are simple whitewashed walls, contrasts with the brown slopes of the Pamirs. Murghab makes no attempt to pretend. Its beauty lies in its stark simplicity, and that very harshness is what makes the town unforgettable. There is no running water in the town. Residents draw it from wells like this one. For transport, they rely on aging Soviet trucks or the roofs of off-road vehicles. The heart of the town is its market, a rare pulse of life among the endless expanses of the Pamir. Metal shipping containers lined in a row serve as shops, offering everyday essentials. Bright clothing, toys, food, even ice cream. The market is more than a place to trade. It's a gathering spot where news, gossip, and smiles are shared. Another intriguing spot in town is the gas station. A small building that's easy to miss. Inside there are piles of canisters, bottles and funnels, making it look more like a storeroom than a fueling point. Only when the seller starts pouring an unidentified liquid from the can, we realize that refueling here is an act of trust rather than a simple transaction. What goes into the tank will decide not only the next goal of the journey, but whether the engine survives that experiment at all. Soon it's time to leave. But along the way we are often stopped by local children. We pay the toll by handing out symbolic toys we brought with us. And there is never a shortage of eager little hands to receive them. One of the last, more peculiar sights in Murghab were the yurts standing along the main road. At first, they catch the eye, but it quickly becomes clear they have little to do with tradition. Covered in synthetic fabrics, they now serve as makeshift hotels. These are structures built solely for tourists, lacking the true spirit of Central Asia. The real yurts we'll find later, far from the beaten track. It's time to say goodbye to Murghab and head north towards our main goal, the Ak-Baital Pass, the highest drivable pass in the entire Pamirs. Ahead lies a road to the very roof of the world. We'll soon learn whether strength, machine, and a bit of luck will be enough to conquer this legendary route. It's the 17th day since we left Poland. If all goes well, today we'll reach the ultimate destination of our journey, Ak-Baital Pass, standing at 4,655 meters above sea level. There is only a few dozen kilometers of relatively good road left to drive. Until now, the road had crossed relatively flat terrain, but here the tougher conditions begin. This spot, often photographed by travelers, is sometimes mistaken for the pass itself, but in truth it's just the start of the real climb. The grade doesn't look steep. Yet at over 4,500 meters, the thin air chokes the engine. Let's try again. This time with more momentum. The car struggles for every meter, and we listen impatiently for its sound. At last, on the engine's final breath, we reach the pass. There is no sign here, no pass marking. Only the quiet satisfaction that an old city car has conquered a route that many true off-roaders would envy. Goal achieved. We descend from the pass towards Khorog. Now we can relax. The pressure of time is gone. It's a chance to savor the Pamirs and uncover more of their hidden secrets. Catching the last rays of daylight, we soak in the view of this harsh yet captivating land. Time to find a campsite and rest after so many challenges. Reaching the famous pass wasn't the end, it was the beginning of the most beautiful part of the journey. Now came the real adventures. Exploring the lesser-known Pamirs, taking our little city car into off-road trucks where few dared to venture, and visiting forgotten settlements, far from the beaten path, where time stopped long ago. In the heart of the Pamirs, we found the world raw, wild and real, without the tourist facade often seen by those who stick too close to the main route. This experience changed how we see the travel itself, because a journey is not only about the destination, but about the road that leads there, about meeting people whose lives are so different from ours, and about the moments when nature's immensity reminds us how small we truly are. But that is a story for the next episode.